Thank you, Angel. Thank you, all of you, for being here. You know, 911 is the ultimate in public-private partnerships, and it only works if the companies are there to enable the calls. And so thank you to everyone in the telecommunications industry for this important partnership. Today we are here to celebrate first responders. And the shooting in Florida earlier today is a reminder of how vital and how difficult that role is. We think of the first responders in Parkland and with the students and families and faculty of Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. Last month, Hawaii had a big reminder of how important 911 call takers and call centers are when a false missile alert went out. People thought that a ballistic missile was on its way, and for thousands of people, the first instinct was to call 911 because people trust 911. They trust that the person on the other end of the line is going to know what to do, and they're going to send help. That is the legacy of 911 after 5 decades in emergency response. What started as a single call to an Alabama police station 50 years ago has turned into 240 million calls placed every year and countless lives saved. And so we're here to celebrate the institution that is 911 and the people who make it possible, especially the men and women who serve at call centers across the country. I got an opportunity to visit the call center in Honolulu, the Honolulu Police Department, in partnership with our other emergency responders. We know that the police officers and firefighters are doing their job and getting the recognition that they deserve. But 911 professionals are the unsung heroes of emergency response. They are the first responders when there's an emergency. They're the ones who pick up the phone or answer the text message. And you never know what the call is going to be when it comes in, if it's going to be a cat stuck in a tree, a home that's been robbed, a kid drowning in a swimming pool. No matter what the emergency is, or even if it's not an emergency, 911 professionals are there to help people to stay calm and to take the next step and get some help. That in and of itself is hard work, but it's even more stressful to take a call about an emergency, dispatch help, and then hang up the phone without knowing if everything went well after you hung up the phone. I had the chance to read through some of the nominations for today's awards, and I was struck by the professionalism, the dedication, and the service of everyone nominated. 911 professionals in Orange County, Florida have gone into work during a hurricane, not knowing when they would be able to come back and check in on their own families. They were also the first responders during a mass shooting that claimed 6 lives last year. Even during those harrowing phone calls, they remained reassuring and professional. In Monmouth County, New Jersey, a call taker answered the phone to find a 3-year-old child on the other end of the line, and the call taker was able to speak on the child's level and get the information needed to send the kid some help. That is the kind of service that we see from all call takers, and it's the kind of service that saves lives. This year's nominees also show that call centers can't do all of this work alone. We also need champions like Maryland State Senator Cheryl Kagan, who understands the importance of emergency response and has put in the time and effort to build support in the state legislature. We also need innovators like Roger Marshall, who develops industry standards that push emergency response to keep up with technological advances. And we need enthusiastic educators like Unified Communications Office here in DC, who brought together hundreds of students to teach them about contacting 911. People like all of you are the reason why 911 is trusted and has been for decades. As technology changes, the system will change as well. Phones didn't move in 1968. People couldn't text when they had emergencies. But we've been able to update the system to handle new forms of information over the past 50 years. And with the leadership of the Congressional Next Generation 911 Caucus, we will continue to improve going forward. So congratulations to this year's nominees, and thank you to everyone who makes this happen. On a personal note, you know, I'm the father of a couple of a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old, and I am one of those 240 million calls, and it's not always an emergency. And I appreciate what you do to keep all of our communities safe and to know that you are there I will tell you that most of us, when it comes to institutions, the purpose of an institution is to provide that service to the public and maybe not even be noticed. I didn't know that 911 was only 50 years old. It didn't occur to me that someone had to come up with the idea. It didn't occur to me that there had to be training. It didn't occur to me that this is an institution. But this is the most important kind of American institution. It's the kind that keeps us safe. It's the kind that is about community. It's the kind that's about family. It's the kind that has bipartisan support. So thank you for everything you've done.